and basically Donald Trump's one of Donald Trump's co-defendants had warned her what would happen if Fani Willis didn't recuse herself or do something else before noon today, April 8th. Now, if you guys remember what I'm talking about, definitely, or if you happen to know what I'm talking about, that Fani Willis was supposed to do today, hit me up in the comment section down below. I want to see if you guys are familiar with what should have been done to prevent Fani Willis from possibly facing some jail time. At least this is what's being threatened by one of the co-defendants on Donald Trump's case for Georgia, the Georgia election interference case. But take a listen to this here. This is kind of wild, okay?
Fulton County DA Fani Willis faces some new legal hurdles in former President Trump's Georgia election interference case. One of his co-defendants is now claiming Fani Willis illegally recorded a phone call with his attorney in an unrelated case in a different state, Maryland. That defendant says, quote, "If Willis does not recuse herself from this case by noon on Monday, I may have no other choice than to pursue all lawful remedies."
Whoa. Okay. Now, we talked about this just a little bit. This is a big deal, guys. Now, before we really get into this, all I ask is that you guys take 1 second, hit the like button for the video, share this video on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else. Just share it wherever they will allow you to share it there. So how many of you guys got a chance to check out the solar eclipse today? I mean, this is a big deal. There were some places that were better to see the solar eclipse today than others. New York City was actually one of them, but there were like several different states that were among the better places to get a view of the solar eclipse. Hopefully you had your glasses on and you protected your eyes. Some people traveled. Let me know if you guys traveled anywhere or if you saw it from wherever you happen to be, and how was it for you? Anyway, definitely hit the like button for the video, subscribe, do all that YouTube-y stuff. But yeah, so this is a big deal today, guys. Fani Willis asks appeals court not to consider Donald Trump's disqualification bid, okay? This bid could boot her off the case here, okay? And it's interesting how desperate Fani Willis appears to be at this point, where she's basically begging the appeals court, please do not consider Donald Trump's disqualification bid. If this wasn't a big deal, why would she request that Donald Trump and his bid for her to be disqualified not to be considered? This is a big deal, guys. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis asked a Georgia appeals court earlier today, not to reconsider a trial judge's ruling allowing her to continue overseeing the election interference case against former President Donald Trump and several allies. This is proof. What's going on, guys? I see all you guys in the comments. I don't want to ignore you, but I just want to share some of this information right quick. I do see all of you guys. Jared, Catalia, what's going on, guys? So basically, this is a big deal because if it wasn't, she wouldn't waste her time with this, right? So this is what mainstream media is not talking about. Fani Willis here, guys. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis asked a Georgia appeals court today not to reconsider a trial judge's ruling allowing her to continue overseeing the election interference case against former President Donald Trump and several allies, okay? Judge Scott McAfee ruled last month that Willis's previous romance with ex-special prosecutor Nathan Wade created an appearance of conflict, the whole odor of mendacity lingering, that kind of thing, right? Now, however, he allowed Willis to remain on the case even after Wade resigned, quote, because the applicants have wholly failed to carry the burden of persuasion, this court should decline interlocutory review. This is what Willis's office told the Georgia Court of Appeals. So Willis charged Donald Trump with more than a dozen, other co-defendants. We'll just call them allies, with attempting to subvert the Georgia 2020 elections results last summer. Trump has pleaded not guilty. It's kind of funny how they have basically charged Donald Trump with this Georgia election interference crime. Meanwhile, though, only days ago, we had a shocking number of 147,000 ballots show up with signatures not validated. These ballots could have come from anywhere. These ballots may not be valid. So how is the questioning of the validity of a 2020 election not warranted here? And what's wrong with simply asking a question to find out, hey, is this really legit here, right? Is Biden the legitimate president of the United States? Let me ask you guys, is Biden the legitimate president of the United States? Should he be president right now? Or is the election up for questioning? I think that this is what Donald Trump was wondering. And how else can you get to the bottom of things if you don't kind of poke around, right? That's all I'm saying here, guys. Yeah.
The Georgia election case. Lawful remedies. Meanwhile, Fani Willis has repeatedly spoken publicly about the Georgia election case.
Recently, they tell me they don't like me to talk about race. Well, I'm going to talk about it anyway. Truth is, it's some challenges that come to being black. Let's say it for the record. I'm not embarrassed by anything I've done. I don't feel like we've been slowed down at all. I do think that there are efforts to slow down this train, but the train is coming.
Ooh, the train is coming.
Right out of her mouth. Oh, my goodness.
The train is coming.
Trump has a gag order and she doesn't? Now, some co-defendants in the Georgia case are reportedly considering pressing for a gag order against Fani Willis. Last week, the judge ruled against Donald Trump's motion to dismiss the entire case. We'll see what happens next. Carrie Kupecker-Bond, Fox News legal editor. So let's just start with a gag order on her. We know she likes to campaign. She's not running for anything right now. Is it a reality TV show? What?
So let's talk first about what the purpose of gag orders are in the first place. And it's to prevent harm to the case or the people involved in the case that otherwise could not be undone. And we've seen these gag orders slapped again and again after one person and one person only. And his name is Donald Trump. But my question, Harris, is how is the harm that they say Trump is causing by tweeting about political bias any different or worse than, say, the district attorney in Georgia talking publicly about the case, saying things like, God is on my side, or Letitia James, the attorney general in New York, salivating over properties that Trump owns on Twitter, live tweeting all of his events? Because let me tell you something, if I'm a business person in New York, I'd be very worried that she would do the same to me and apply the law in a way that's never been applied before against me. Just doesn't matter that I'm not Trump. She's done it once. Why would she do it again? And if
and she's already doing it to the beef companies. Did you guys hear about that? Letitia James going after the what is it? I forget the name of the beef company. Is it like JBS or something like that? Anyway, yeah, there's no stopping her.
Potential juror in Fulton County, how would I not be intimidated by the district attorney, a very powerful law enforcement officer, making all of these comments? How would I not be nervous to not potentially side with her if I'm on that jury?
I'm going to go a little bit further than that. You think a judge would be? Because I've always wondered if, in fact, she was watching in a sequestered area her ex-lover, Nathan Wade, on the stand, and that judge didn't ever even put that on the record to even ask her. I mean, she comes out all in a huff, her hair, all over the place, and she's just got to get on that stand. Her attorneys are trying to keep her from testifying. This was in the first go-around. We showed it stem to stern here on Fox. Who is intimidated by this woman? I think that's a fair question. And
wow, so is she trying to intimidate people to bend to her will? Really?
If intimidation is something that a gag order would solve, why don't they put one on her?
Right, and it's, again, only been applied against one person, one way. And let's not forget, in the civil fraud trial, in that situation in New York, the ACLU, who was no friend of Donald Trump, suggested that gag orders against him are election interference. That's the ACLU talking, not Donald Trump. And so, again, if you're just the average person, whether you're living in...
Just for those who aren't aware, the ACLU is the American Civil Liberties Union, and they don't really like Donald Trump. So when you have the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, backing Donald Trump of all people, and they're calling this election interference, I mean, I don't know what else to say here.
Fulton County or you own a business in New York, I don't see how you are not intimidated by the actions of both of these law enforcement officers.
Ooh. All right, we'll cover it all as we all.
Oh boy. So you heard it here first, guys. Just unbelievable treatment here. So yeah, so let's see, the case took a weeks-long detour after Donald Trump's co-defendant, Michael Roman, surfaced evidence of romance between Willis and Wade, who obviously was the leading prosecution on this case against former President Donald Trump. But yeah, so McAfee found evidence of apparent conflict of interest from these hearings. But here's the interesting thing here. Let's see. Quote, there is simply no trial court error to be found in the decision to deny disqualification. This is what Fani Willis's office wrote today. So again, it's rather interesting that she's coming out with these requests begging the Court of Appeals to please don't fire me, don't remove me, do not disqualify me from this case. Quote, days of evidence and testimony failed to disclose anything like a calculated pretrial plan designated to prejudice the defendants or secure their convictions. The applicants have not identified any public statement injecting the district attorney's personal belief as to the defendant's guilt or appealing to the public weighing of evidence. So basically, the DA, District Attorney Fani Willis, is basically trying to say, hey, look, there's no proof that we have done anything to display any kind of like premeditated or calculated plan to poison or prejudice the appearance of the defendants in order to secure their convictions. They're saying that they're innocent. They're saying that, basically everything that Fani Willis is doing outside the courtroom is all fair play. There's no foul balls taking place here. But this is what's being debated here. So Donald Trump and his co-defendants, they're asserting that the romance and many other actions of Willis amount to a lot more than that. After McAfee basically greenlighted their appeal, the defendants filed an application with the state appeals court urging them to take up the case. This is what has Fani Willis up in arms and basically panicking, as far as I can tell here. Donald Trump's attorney, Steve Sadow, specifically pointed to a church speech, which we heard earlier today, where Fani Willis suggested that, the criticism that this was actually a church speech before the most recent women's event that she spoke in front of. She's been at all these different events, just, going like this the whole time. So it's kind of hard to keep up with what she said at which event. But basically, she was at this church event where Fani Willis gave, suggestions that the criticism that Nathan Wade faced was stemming from being the only Black special prosecutor that she had hired. Basically, a contention that Steve Sadow has portrayed as an attempt to, as he says, foment racial animus against Donald Trump and his co-defendants to take focus off of Willis's romance. In a nutshell, what that means is Steve Sadow is basically saying, hey, Fani, you're over here trying to use the race card. You're trying to make this into a racial thing in order to distract the courts and to distract the public, everyone's watching this case, away from this romance that was attempting to have been hidden, which has already been exposed. So don't make this a race thing. Don't try to, shift the focus, kind of like, what was that phrase? How does that phrase goes? Like, don't blow my candle out to make your candle shine brighter. So basically what she's trying to do is she's trying to blow her own candle out regarding the whole, relationship thing that she had going on with Nathan Wade. Don't look over here. So turn the lights out over here. focus on Donald Trump, because remember, he's on trial. That's basically what Steve Siddle is saying. And Steve is essentially saying she's trying to make it seem like Donald Trump and or Donald Trump's team is racist, and that's not fair. And he's saying that this is not true. So, yeah. Quote, oh, Robert Jackson, thank you so much, my man. $5 super chat. Thank you so much. So Robert Jackson says, thanks, Ron. Been enjoying your content for a while. Thank you for always keeping us in the loop. Robert, thank you very much. And I will always keep you guys in the loop. I really appreciate the support, you guys. Hey, if you haven't already, do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. I love doing these lives with you guys. I love getting your feedback. And it's amazing how much you guys help me as a community to help me stay on top of things, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot coming out, and it's kind of hard to stay on top of everything. But I do try to bring you guys the most pressing things when they do come out. Peggy, let's see if I can say your last name. Thibodeau. Peggy, let me know if I've said your last name correctly. Peggy Thibodeau. Let's see. We got Keenan Ripon. What is going on? We got Donnie Stover. We got Data 4. I was thinking like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, like the book back here. Anyway, quote, while the trial court factually found DA Fani Willis's out-of-court statements were improper and defendants proved an apparent conflict of interest, the trial court erred as a matter of law by not requiring dismissal and DA Fani Willis's disqualification. Trump and his co-defendants' March application to the Georgia appeal reads, quote, this legal error requires the court's immediate review. So it is very obvious, it's very apparent that Donald Trump's team and the co-defendants' attorneys are aggressively seeking the removal and disqualification of Fani Willis. So this is only the next step, guys. And it screams volumes that Fani Willis would go to the extent to reach out to the appeals court and essentially beg them to not consider. She's basically saying, do not consider Donald Trump's and the co-defendant's request to get me out of here. I need to stay on this case. So anyway, let me jump in the comments. Let me see what you guys are saying. We got Keenan Ripon. And how many of you guys saw this eclipse today? And if you did see the eclipse, let me know where you saw it from. Like I said, there were several states that actually had some of the best eclipse viewing for the April 8th total eclipse. Was it? I think it was a total eclipse today. Solar eclipse anyway. Let me see. Best states to view solar eclipse 2024. 20 of the best places to view the solar eclipse. Okay, so there are several places in Mexico. You had Texas. Man, what is this? Okay. Whoa, okay. Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Canada, and Maine. Anyway, Andrew Tamora Jr., thank you so much for subscribing and hitting the thumbs up. Let's see. So Catalia says, Ron, I watched the Troy Brewer's podcast, who had an amazing totality of the eclipse. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I may have to search for that. Let's see. Lisa Moser says, watch the eclipse in Sandusky, Ohio. Really cool. Awesome. Awesome. Oklahoma. Let's see. So Nancy Kent saw it in Oklahoma. Awesome. Let's see. Brandy Swaney says 80%. Wait, where is it? Brandy Swaney says 80% eclipse Seagrove, North Carolina. So for those of you guys who got like what 80% to 100% visibility of the solar eclipse, like did it go from like daytime to nighttime? Like how was the experience where you were at? Because I wasn't actually there, you know, like I saw it on TV, I saw it on the internet and stuff like that. But I'm just wondering, like, if you were there, like, does it go from like blue skies, broad daylight, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, someone hit the light switch and it's off for a minute or two. Like, I'm just wondering how does that work for those who were actually there? Let's see. Damn Deb says watched in Canada or Kansas. Let's see here. Judy Godwin says Fanny better worry about her license and jail time. Hey man, there's gonna be some things coming out. I'll tell you that much. Karen Tribal, New York and cloudy. Well, that's the other thing. There were certain cities in those states that I listed that were better than others. So apparently, if you happen to be in New York, Maine, Texas, Arkansas, there were certain cities that were better positioned to see the eclipse than others. Let's see. So Susan says it was more like dusk. Okay, Susan Danielle, appreciate you. Tara McKnight, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. So Tara McKnight says, saw the eclipse in Texas. It looked like it was midnight. What? Very, very dark. Oh my God. Man, if any of you guys has like any really good links to the April 8th solar eclipse, please hit me up in the chat. Send me your best links in the comment section. Let me know, because I want to see. And it will be really cool if anyone has like a maybe a video link that you could send to me that I can see, where it's like, you know, I can kind of like see like what does the street look like, you know, not just the eclipse itself, like what does the environment look like? Because I want to know, like, did they like turn the lights? Because according to let me see, Jesus, where is she? Someone, oh my God, I can't believe I've already forgot her name already. Someone just told me that it was like midnight in Texas. So yeah. Oh, here we go. Tara McKnight saw the eclipse in Texas. It looked like it was midnight. Very, very dark. So if anyone, thank you so much, Tara. If anyone has any kind of link that they can send me so I can see the eclipse and how dark it got, that would be super duper awesome. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys so much. Bode D, thank you so much for the huge $10 super chat. Bode D says, my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yeah. And let me know if you guys know that song, because apparently Bode D knows that song. Anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And yes, Ron Yates is crazy and he don't care. So anyway, I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all be safe.